How's it going, YouTube? This is Badass Revere here, and I'm back with another video. This time I'm showing you guys my Yu-Gi-Oh deck that I use when I'm battling my friends or anybody. This is the main deck that I use, and it is the Warrior Strike structure deck. Now, this deck came out in 2008, so it's kind of an older one, but I mean, there hasn't really been that many structure decks that have come out throughout the years. I mean, there's been a few, and I know there's one that came out in February, but this is the one that I got. It's pretty much, as it says on the box, Warriors. It's a Warriors deck, pretty much. And here's the box, which is really nice. Probably the nicest structure deck box that there is, because this one's got really nice shiny artwork and stuff. So really cool. Comes with a game mat and all that stuff. So pretty much whatever on that. But this is been modified to how it helps me. So if you were wanting to get this deck and want to know how to make it good, this will be a good video to learn and maybe get how to make your deck better and how it works. So I'm going to show you guys what's in the deck first, and then I'll go over some of the things like how the effects and stuff work on the monsters, because it can be kind of confusing when you start playing with this deck. I was really confused how it worked at first, and then I guess it's actually quite simple, but it's kind of a hard deck to use too if you're not if you don't have the right cards, or if you you know, don't have all the stuff necessary. But this is in no particular order of cards. So I have Swords of Revealing Light, Unleash Your Power, Dark Blade, Supervise, Featherizer, Gemini Summoner, Release Restraint Wave, Blaze Wing Butterfly, DD Warrior Lady, Mystical Space Typhoon, Super Double Summon, Sakuratsu Armor, Big Bang Shot, Gemini Soldier, Marauding Captain, Field Commander Roz, Kunai Chain, Double Summon, Lightning Vortex, Gemini Booster, DD Warrior, Nightmare Steelgate, Phoenix Gearfried, Axe of Despair, another Featherizer, Dark Hole, Birthright, Divine Sword, Phoenix Blade, Gemini Trap Hole, Yugioh Drakmord. I always say that first part wrong. Really nice card though. I'll go over, if you don't know what this card is, I'll go over in a second. Reinforcement of the Army, Gemini Booster again, Future Samurai, which actually came with 2 in this deck, Dark Bribe, Exiled Force, Assault Armor, Burden of the Mighty, Freed the Matchless General, Evocator Cavalier, Torrential Tribute, Blaze Wing Butterfly again, Dark Valkyria, Geszti Break, and Monster Reborn. Alright, so these cards I put in there because they help out a lot. This helps out a lot when you don't want your opponent to attack you. So you would put this down, and really this is helpful because when you put down someone like let me see who's a good person. Okay, so basically how this these Gemini monsters work is you have to normal summon him to the field, or you can set him in face down defense, and then he's treated as a normal monster while on the field. But the way he gets his effects is you have to summon him again. So you have to summon your monster twice, which can be really difficult because someone like Gemini Soldier here, who has 500 attack and only 300 defense, he can be pretty easy to destroy, and it's really hard. But this guy's effect is really good. It says on him that once per turn, if this card would be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. If this card battles, after damage calculation, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Gemini monster from your deck except Gemini Soldier. So this is a really nice card, and you can easily get out all your Gemini monsters that are in this deck. So it's really nice. But like I said, it's just really hard to gain their effects just because they have to be summoned 2 times in a row. Which is why having a Swords of Revealing Light will be nice, because they can't, your opponent wouldn't be able to attack you. So you could summon him, Swords of Revealing Light, have swords out, summon him again on your second turn, and then attack. And then just because he's so weak, you're pretty much going to end up having to sacrifice some life points to get your monster out. But if you have him in defense mode, that's fine. But if you're gonna want him in defense mode after after swords is gone, because once your opponent attacks, he'll just attack you, and if he attacks this guy twice, then he'll die. So you want him in defense mode because you don't want a full force attack from a guy who has only 500 attack. So that'll be a lot of life points that it's gonna take up. But once you do attack, you can go through your deck and say you want to get out a level 4 lower Gemini, so you go and you get Future Samurai, who is strangely a Gemini for some reason. So then you can say, alright, now I bring out Future Samurai, and you can attack with that monster. So that's really cool. There's a lot more cards in here that'll help get these effects. With Future Samurai, her effect is that once per turn you can remove from play 1 monster from your graveyard to destroy 1 face-up monster, which is really useful when your opponent has 2 or more monsters, and say you have her out, you can remove from play 1 monster, destroy 1 of his stronger monsters, and say you have a stronger monster than his second one, you can destroy that second monster, and then he'll have no monsters because you'll have destroyed him. But Unleash Your Power is a card that it comes with. It's for Gemini Monsters. It says, all Gemini monsters that were on the field, on your side of the field, when this card is activated, are treated as an effect monster and gain their effects. During the end phase of this turn, set all monsters affected by this card's effect. So it kind of sucks because you have to set your monsters and face down, which just really leaves them all vulnerable to be attacked and destroyed. So I mean, the best way I would say to use this card is if you have Blazewing Butterfly. Now, his effect is you can tribute this card to special summon 1 Gemini monster from your graveyard except Blazewing Butterfly. A Gemini monster special summoned by this effect is treated as an effect monster and gains its effect. So what's really nice about this guy is you can put him out there, use this, he'll gain his effect, and since he's a tribute monster, you'll tribute him, and if you have another Gemini monster in your graveyard, you can bring him back and he'll gain his effects. Which brings me to my next point, Featherizer. He comes with in 1 in the deck, but I bought 2 because what his effect is that when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Gemini monster from your deck to the graveyard and draw 1 card. So basically, what you want to do when you play this guy, you can either put him in face down and let someone attack him, or you could put him in face up and attack somebody, but you would take damage for it. So usually it's best to just put him in face down, let your opponent attack him, send him to your graveyard. Then you go to your deck, and the best card to do this is to get your main card, which is Phoenix Gearfried. You'll want to put him in your graveyard, because then when you use Blazewing and use this card, you can tribute Blazewing to pull out Phoenix Gearfried. So really what your deck is comprised of, if that's the right word, is basically trying to get your monsters into the graveyard, because this deck has a lot of cards for bringing people out of the graveyard. It came with like Symbol of Duty, Swing of Memory, Soul Resurrection, stuff like that. So really, you're trying to get your monsters into the graveyard to special summon them. But really, the only ones that you want to do that with are with this guy, because all these other ones are really easy to get out. But other cards that help with your effect monsters is Supervise. It says equip only to a Gemini monster. It is treated as an effect monster and gains its effect when this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard. Select and special summon one normal monster from your graveyard. So that's really cool. I've used this with Phoenix before. I had him with his effect, and his effect is when your opponent activates a spell card, you can select one Gemini monster from your graveyard and special summon it. Also, you can send one face-up equip card you control to the graveyard to negate the activation of a spell or trap that targets a monster on the field and destroy it. Which I did here recently. I had him on the field. He was an effect monster. I just equipped Supervise to him, even though he was already an effect monster, but basically ended up saving me because my opponent activated a trap or spell card. I can't remember which one, but then I was just like, all right, well, I have this card equipped to him, so I'll just send it to the graveyard and negate it. So really, another thing about this deck, is that it needs a lot of equip cards, which is kind of a problem because due to that, people are going to try and make this deck with as many equip cards as they can, which is kind of a bad thing, and that's what I did. But I realized that it's just way too hard to get monsters out and to do anything that's going to help me, because I have so many equip cards. Like, I would draw probably an entire hand of spells and traps, which is still pretty much half of my deck, but it helps me out a lot more, and it's easier to get my monsters out. Gemini Summoner, he's not a Gemini, but he is a spellcaster effect. It says one per turn, you can, during your opponent's end phase, you can pay 500 life points to normal summon or set one Gemini monster from your hand, or normal summon one face-up monster you control. Once per turn, if this card will be destroyed, it is not destroyed. So basically, if you got him out, you can put down, if you already had him on the field, you could put down, say, like Future Samurai, and then during your opponent's end phase, you could say, alright, well, I'm going to pay 500 life points to normal summon this card again, and then it'll gain its effect. That way, your next turn, you can summon another monster and continue to keep doing that. Although, this guy, it's really kind of frustrating because it's during your opponent's end phase. By that time, he could easily just destroy Future Samurai or something like that. But I mean, it is like, I guess you could just summon this monster during his end phase, since like you don't have to put this one down, it just won't have its effect. But then next turn you'll have to summon this card again. So that's how that works. DD Warrior Lady, basically whenever this monster battles your opponent's monster, after damage calculation, you can remove from play the opponent's monster and this card. So if your opponent attacks this card with like probably one of its most powerful cards, you could just choose to remove it from play, which is really nice. Super Double Summon, it says select one Gemini monster you control and normal summon it during the end phase of this turn, return it to your hand. This is another card that would be useful for like Blazewing Butterfly, because you're just going to tribute him anyways, so he'll gain his effect and just tribute him, and then you don't have to worry about sending him back to your hand. Big Bang Shot, equipped to the equipped monster gains 400 attack, and when this equipped card attacks a defense position monster whose defense is lower than the equipped monster's attack, inflict the difference as battle damage to your opponent. When this card is removed from the field, the equipped monster is removed from play. So that's kind of it's good, but it's bad. But it's good for when it's good for, you know, getting rid of monsters like, let's see, Evocator, Cavalier, his effect is that you can take one face-up equipped card you control and send it to the graveyard to destroy one card your opponent controls. So you could put on Big Bang Shot, he'll gain attack. You could attack somebody, but if they had like a trap card or something, you could like get rid of that card. You could tribute that card, and then use his effect to get rid of it, and then attack, and you don't have to worry about like having a trap card there to stop you from attacking or anything. So there's that. Marauding Captain, that's to be able to special summon from your hand, or yeah, special summon from your hand, which is good for Evocator and Gemini Soldier and stuff. And then this one is you can get a monster from your deck to the top of your deck. Kunai Chains, it's a equipped card pretty much. Double summon, you could use that to double summon twice, or you can summon a monster twice in one turn, so that's helpful. Lightning Vortex to discard. You can discard one card from your hand to destroy all face-up monsters on your opponent's side of the field. That's a really good card. Pretty much helps for if you're wanting to easily defeat your opponent and you have a bunch of monsters and you just get rid of all his face-up monsters, and hopefully if he doesn't have any trapper spells, you can just pretty much destroy him. Gemini Booster, I have two of these because you can equip it to a Gemini monster. A Gemini monster you control as an equipped card. It gains 700 attack, and then when this card is destroyed while equipped and sent to the graveyard, select one face-up Gemini monster and treat it as an effect monster. So it makes your monster a lot more powerful, and then once it goes to the graveyard, you can treat a monster as its effect monster. DD Warrior is basically just like DD Warrior Lady, but you don't have an option to remove from play. This one I think you have to remove from play either way, but she's so weak that you might as well just do that. Nightmare Steelgate, this came with two in my deck. It's really useful for getting your cards out and summoning them and stuff. Basically, the card remains face up on the field for 2 of your opponent's turns. No monsters can attack. Destroy this card during your opponent's second end phase after this card was activated. So basically you and your opponent cannot attack, and this gives you an opportunity to kind of build up your hand and trying to get some more monsters on the field and tribute and all that stuff. So really helpful. Axe of Despair gives you 1,000 attack points, so that's really helpful for like Cavalier and all that. Now the Featherizer, I got Darkhold to destroy all monsters. Birthright, select one normal monster from your graveyard and special summon into face-up attack position. When this card is removed from the field, destroy that monster. When the monster is just removed from the field, destroy this card. So this is a good card for when you have like Gearfried or somebody out. You flip it, bring him back, and he'll be back on the field. Divine Sword, equipped only to warrior type monsters, gains 300 attack. And then you can like remove from play 2 warrior types from your graveyard to add this to your hand. Gemini Trap Hole, which you'll want to use when you have a Gemini monster that is destroyed. Activate only when a Gemini monster is treated as an effect monster and destroyed by battle. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. So it's kind of like Lightning Vortex, but your monster is going to be destroyed in order to do this. Yugioh Drakmord, awesome card. It's kind of equivalent to Scrap Iron Scarecrow, but it's not like that. But basically, you equip this to a monster and it can attack, and then destroy the equipped monster at the end of the controller's second turn after this card is activated. At that time, this card is returned to the owner's hand. So you can put this on your opponent's monster, it can't attack, it can't do anything, and then at the end of the second turn, this card goes back to your hand and his monster is destroyed. So it's pretty much a win-win for you, because then you can just use this again. But there is those cases where they can use like Mystical Space Typhoon and stuff. Reinforcement of the army, get soldiers into your hand or whoever. Another Gemini booster. Dark Bribe to negate the activation of a spell or trap. Exiled Force, it's really only good for getting rid of a monster on your opponent's side. So basically just summon him, tribute him, get rid of the monster on your opponent, and then if you have another monster you can attack then. Assault Armor, it's equipped only to a warrior type monster. That is the only monster you control. It gains 300 attack, and during your main phase 1, you can send this equipped card to the graveyard to allow the equipped monster to attack twice during each battle phase of this turn. So basically it's just another equipped card that's good to use to either use it for your monster's effect, or you can use it on Gear Freed, attack one monster, and then you can attack twice if you get rid of this card in your main phase. Burden of the Mighty, it's really good because every monster on your opponent's side of the field loses 100 times its own level, so really nice. Free the Matchless General, he came with it, he's pretty good. You only have to tribute one card for him. And you can negate the effect of any spell card that targets this card and destroy it, and then add a level 4 or lower monster from your deck instead of conducting a normal draw phase. Evocator, who I've already gone over, equip card. If you send one equip card, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. Torrential Tribute, it's a really good card if you have no monsters on the field and your opponent's just about to pull out like 15 of these things. You can activate this card when a monster is normal summoned, flip summoned, or special summoned. Destroy all monsters on the field. So really, you would want to use this in a situation where you have no monsters at all, because it'll destroy your monsters too. You don't want to have that on the field when you have like all your good monsters, because then they're going to be gone. And I think this is the last Gemini monster, Dark Valkyria. It says one time only you can place one spell counter on this card. This card gains 300 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove one spell counter from this card to destroy one monster on the field. So this is kind of for like a spellcaster deck, but it's a Gemini. So really, if you can put more spell counters on it, that'd be good. But yeah, if you remove the spell counter, you can destroy one monster on the field, which is really nice. And she's pretty powerful, so that's really nice. Geszti Break, whenever you have normal monsters on the field, if it's attacked, you can flip this and destroys all effect monsters, and only face-up normal monsters will stay alive. So basically it's good for when you have all these monsters out and they're not effect monsters yet. Flip this card, it'll destroy your opponent's effect monsters, because mostly they're gonna be effect monsters anyways, so that's good for you, and then you can attack them. Monster Reborn, pretty self-explanatory. Whenever you use Featherizer to get Gear Freed into your graveyard, then use Monster Reborn, bring them back out. I should probably put in a couple more, but my deck's already big enough as it is, and I don't want to make it any bigger. And then last card is this Release Restraint Wave, which you don't necessarily need, but it's good for getting rid of all your monster or any spell and trap cards your opponent might have. So basically it says select one face-up equipped spell card you control, destroy it, and send all set spell and trap cards your opponent controls. So it's really good for if you're wanting to attack, but then your opponent keeps getting spell and trap cards to negate your attacks. Basically, you can just get rid of all of them, and then you can attack him without any consequence of like a trap card or something. So that's good. So there you have it, guys. This is kind of a long video, but it's a hopefully it'll help you guys understand how it works and see how to build this a bit better. Me and my friends worked on this together, and they helped me out, and I kind of added in some stuff like swords and all that, and Restraint. So it's pretty decent. It's not gonna be real good. I mean, it would be pretty good, but most of my friends have these really OP decks, like Black Wings and stuff. So if you're going against someone that has like a Black Wing deck, you might as well just not even try, because you'll never win, and you probably won't even be able to attack, because they'll just have 5 cards on the field in their first turn and destroy you. So yeah. Anyways, hopefully this video was helpful. Like I said, if it was helpful, that's great. If you have any comments or things like that, please leave them below. So yeah, and I'm gonna do some more deck videos. I have 2 more decks right now, but this is my main deck, and I wanted to show how to build and use the deck. So if it was helpful, let me know. Leave comments below. Like I said, if you liked the video or enjoyed it, please like it. And if you enjoy seeing these videos or any of my action figure reviews, please subscribe to my channel and you can see more of that. So with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later and you have a great day.